Hey y'all, it's David Ducker coming back at you, and today we're going to be talking about producing your character, being a producer during the game, not making him, molding him up from the clay of your imagination, of your mind, but taking that character and utilizing him correctly throughout the campaign, helping the GM utilize him correctly. So of course, a video idea I am stealing blatantly from Andrew Wood. As always, check out his channel, Wood, WWAD, What Would Andrew Do? He did this video, Producing Your Character. Excellent video. And I thought, there's one I haven't plagiarized yet. Let's steal that video idea. So once you've made your character, and you've got him, he's there, he's sitting there, he's ready to go. You've got to think about how you're going to introduce him. Who is this guy? Who do you want him to be in session 1? And what kind of revelations do you want to do down the line? Right. So I was talking to Mike about a character I'm going to bring into one of his games if he ever runs it. But I was thinking about it's a complicated character to do it all in one session. So we're not going to do it all in one session. We're going to slowly get to know this guy. This is a problem special snowflakes have. They make a really complicated character, try to do everything in session 1, and it fails, it flops, it seems unrealistic, and there are problems. Either they don't like the character, the party doesn't like the character, whatever. So what you've got to do is get the layers going down like an onion. So the character I was thinking about, the first layer, superficial layer, he's a big fat knight who loves to eat. Basing him off Sir Oliver Buttesthorn from The White Company. If you haven't read The White Company, go read that immediately, because it's one of the best knightly adventures there is. It was one of the archetypal knightly adventure stories that really, I think, inspired RPGs a great deal. But it's, of course, by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. So, a knight writing about knights. What could be better? But he's a big fat knight. He's motivated by food, by that physical sensation of eating. He's fat. I'd probably give him a mace to fight with, perhaps. Maybe a warhammer. Probably a warhammer. Because on the surface, the warhammer just bashes, but everybody forgets about the spike on top. They forget about the spike on the back. So at first, he seems one thing, but he's going to be something else. So he's the guy who would say, "We can't have the battle yet. I haven't had my conies, my precious brace of conies." Or if they're coming in and they're sneaking around, and there's the enemy camp over there, they're talking about what to do. And he starts sniffing. He says, they have mushroom stew cooking. We must attack them immediately. And, everything comes back to food. When he's talking to people and he likes them, he's like, "Oh, you're such a good lad. You're so succulent." And he licks his lips a lot. And, very one-dimensional. This is one-dimensional at the start. And I'm going to play that for maybe the first 4 sessions. He's very one-dimensional. And in fact, he might be suspiciously one-dimensional. Opportunities come up for romance, and he shies away from that. What he doesn't do can be just as important as what he does. And then you come through, and session 4, perhaps, you find out that he's actually a eunuch. That he's been cut, Varys style. And now you start to think, oh, this is why he turned down those romantic opportunities. Well, this is why perhaps he's so obsessed with food. It's the greatest physical pleasure he can enjoy anymore. And there's this little extra piece to the puzzle of who this guy is. And, I was talking to Mike about how they'd find out. And he was saying, well, let's just have somebody else mention it, and come through and say, I wish I could wed my daughter to you rousing heroes, but, you're already married, and you have taken a vow of chastity, and, well, Sir Oliver, of course, everyone knows about that. And the party's like, we don't know about that, what are you talking about? It's like, well, he's been, and the party's like, oh my god! This explains certain things about his character we didn't know. And then they might start to ask, why? Why did this happen? Who did this to you? And he might not want to talk. It's like, that's none of my concern. I must go seek bacon. And then he leaves and kind of comforts himself with some food, perhaps. But that could be another piece in the puzzle, So you learn one extra thing, and then we hold off. Give it another maybe 4 sessions. And then in that 8th session, you come in, and you find out that it was this other nobleman castrated him. He caught him and tortured him and castrated him. And maybe Sir Oliver gets drunk and he reveals this. It was Count Montague, and when I get hold of him, I'm going to return the favor. I'm going to cut his balls off. So right there, the party could be like, oh yeah, we've got to help our friend Sir Oliver. We've known him for 8 sessions, and he's a good man. He eats a lot, but he's a good man, and he certainly didn't deserve to be castrated. And this Count Montague guy, he's evil as shit, obviously. And then you come through and play that for 4 sessions. See how that goes. And then, around session 12, you might find out Sir Oliver actually raped Count Montague's daughter, and that's why he was castrated, because he's a rapist. And then they start to think, oh, once they cut his balls off, he started eating, and if he used to rape as much as he eats, oh man, this guy we've known for 12 sessions with all these reasons to like him. Now, he saved our lives and he helped us and he displayed charity and mercy and all these other virtues. But in his past, he did this horrible thing, this terrible thing, and he was punished for it. But he's not accepting his punishment, and he's trying to get revenge for this, what may have been just punishment. And you could play that again for like 4 sessions. And maybe Sir Oliver knows that you know. Maybe he doesn't know that you know. And you can confront him about it and have all these role-playing opportunities. Because if you come in session 1 and you find out this guy is a castrated rapist, he's not joining the party. He's just not. He's going to get the boots put to him, and they're going to cut his other head off. And that'll be that. So you got to build up to these dark secrets if your character's going to have one. And then you might even leave that 4 sessions, see how it develops, and then maybe you've confronted Sir Oliver and he says, "I didn't rape her. We were in love, and her father found out that we'd been intimate, and she said that I raped her, and he cut my balls off." And you go through and you're like, oh, there's another revelation, and you just keep adding these layers onto the character and say, maybe he's not a bad guy, but can we trust him? But can we trust the other source? Maybe that was from Count Montague, and the only person who would know for sure is the girl who, the Count Montague's daughter, who's still kicking around, and she's the only one we can really trust, maybe, or maybe not. And you got this great political situation, and Sir Oliver could even say, her father forced her to marry this other guy, and he impregnated her like right away, and I gotta kill him too because she doesn't love him. She still loves me. We're gonna be together even though I'm castrated. I'm going to rescue her from her evil husband. And that could legit be what he believes is going to happen. Maybe she doesn't want to be with the eunuch, or maybe she has fallen in love with her husband. He wasn't that evil. Maybe that baby is Sir Oliver's baby, and that's why they got married so quickly. And now you've got, all these plot hooks. So I threw this at my GM, and he's just like, I've got a whole campaign right here just on your character. And, of course I said, well, this is awesome. Like, Once all of the other players give you a backstory this detailed and a production schedule this detailed, you just have to referee. You don't have to do any work yourself. If you have 6 players all doing this amount of detail, you can just calendar it out and just run what they've written for you. You don't even have to do any writing. You know, there's no GM burnout on you. If you want to do writing, good. Now we have more, even more. But you don't have to. You don't have to be burned out. You don't have to do homework. So this is what I was talking about Mike. Talking too about Mike. And it's kind of inspired, like I said, by Underwood's video. But this can go through with any character. And this is just, notice, his future. Ties into his past a little bit. But this is all what's going to happen during the campaign. Stuff I'm throwing out for the GM, which he may use or he may not use. But it's stuff I'm going to try to use. So he's prepared for when I do these things. And of course, in addition to that, I'm going to have his full backstory. His father, his brothers, his sisters, his trainers, his servants, his horse. You know, this man needs a special horse to carry his girth around. You know. Where did he meet this girl? Have there been other girls? Has he met other eunuchs? What's his religion? All of this stuff is his backstory. But when I talk about the producing the character, that is 4 sessions in, what's the reveal? Another 4 sessions, what's the next reveal? You know, and what's his character going to change? And you know, this is one example, but I could certainly give many. You know, I played a paladin, and I said, he's going to be bigoted as shit. He hates gays, he hates other races, he hates other religions. He's full of hate. And 4 sessions in, he's going to start to realize that he's not hateful. His own religion is hateful. And he's a priest, he's a paladin. So he's going to start to think, have this crisis of faith. Another 4 sessions in, you know, he's going to start to think, can I reform my religion somehow? I think the spirit of my religion is good, but I have to reform it. Give him another 4 sessions, and then he's going to start to act on it. Because if you come in session 1 with a paladin who's saying, oh, I'm trying to reform my religion, he might not be appropriate for the party. Or he might be doing too much, taking too much spotlight in session 1, or session 2, or session 3. You need to ease him into it. Get the team built first. Then get all the storylines, plot hooks going on. Because if you start out with 6 guys, each trying to do their own thing, and they've not been solidified yet, they're just going to break apart. And they're gone. And that's no fun. You know, the fun is from the team. So that's the number one thing. The number one thing, Baba. The first thing you have to do is build that team. So think about a production schedule for your player character. This is something the GM might usually do, his storyline. Think about your character storyline. I'm going to leave you with that. If I missed anything about producing your character, leave it in the comments below, though. Tell me when you've done this, when you've not done this, when it helped, when it hurt. You know, I love the comments. So I'm going to sign out. Everybody have a good day. Cheers.